Hello everyone, welcome back to Ethaniel's Archives. I'm Ethan, and today we're actually doing something a little different. This was actually recommended to me by Carson. Thanks a lot, Carson. And today, I'm actually going to go through my list of top 10 favorite video games I've played. Now, this is going to include some Switch titles, some Oculus titles, PlayStation titles, and probably some 64 titles. Might even include some Super Nintendo titles. I'll see later what I list has my top 10. But yeah, and as you guys know, I'm ranking these on my enjoyment. I think I've already told you all my number one favorite game. So that shouldn't come as a surprise. But I'm also, instead of actually having the physical disc holders with me, I'm going to actually try to edit this video to where it should show a picture of like the cover of the game or something while I'm talking through it. If I can't do that, then I'll probably record another portion where I do lift up those and everything. But yeah, if you enjoyed this content today, let me know. Go down to the like button, click it, hit the subscribe button. But before we begin, thank you for all the views on that last Resident Evil 5 video. Had no idea it was going to get that much. If you look at the statistics from my Dead Space video or my other videos compared to that video has crushed them. So I'd like to thank y'all for giving me y'all's feedback in the comments. Keep doing that, please. I need more ideas. I'm running out of games to review. I know some of y'all want me to do Killzone. There's a thing with that basically I don't have the physical game anymore, so I can't review it unless I go and get it again. So yeah, but I'll explain more in depth. But yeah, but this is my list of top 10 games. Hope y'all enjoy. So in the number 10 spot, we've got Medal of Honor Airborne. This is a game I have not reviewed on the channel yet. Because, I mean, I've only really reviewed 5 games on the channel. So I might review it sometime, I might not. But that's a tangent. But number 10 spot is filled with Medal of Honor Airborne. For those of y'all who are not familiar with the Medal of Honor series, Medal of Honor is was a game series created by EA back whenever they were actually good and not money grabbers. Yes, I'm calling you out right now, EA. If you see this, do better. But back when they actually were good and actually made games and didn't just make microtransactions. But Medal of Honor Airborne takes place in World War II, in the war in the European, whatever that was called. Forgot what it's called. Not the Pacific part of the war, European part. The war on the Germans and them. And in it, I can't exactly remember the guy who you play as. I think his name's Travis. But you play as just a regular American soldier going through different missions. And what sets this apart from a lot of the other World War II games I've seen is how they've tried to like get the historical accuracy correct. Like a lot of the missions that are, if you look at them, they were actually real things. There's a couple of missions on D-Day where they parachuted behind the beach and were trying to disable some AA guns, I think, or pillboxes. I can't remember exactly. But if I remember correctly from my research, they were actually real things. So the fact that they went into depth with historical accuracy is great. Now, like I said, with multiple of my previous videos, every game has its flaws, and every game has its thumbs up moments. So one of the flaws of Medal of Honor Airborne is the fact that it's pretty outdated, even compared to a lot of the other games I play. Graphics are a bit wonky. There are bugs every now and then, and a lot of the controls are kind of just it makes it hard. Some good things I'd like to note though are this, each level design. It's not like it feels fresh almost. It's not like they're just throwing the same things over and over again. Each level design has different challenges, different obstacles, and different ways you can approach each of these things. So all in all, Medal of Honor is my 10th favorite game. The number 9th spot is taken by Assassin's Creed 2. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Assassin's Creed 2 was a game created by Ubisoft, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I can't remember the year it was created, but it was created for PlayStation 3, and you play as Ezio Auditore in the game. Which honestly is really fun to say, in my opinion. And he's a really fun character to play as. Medal of Honor, I do enjoy how Ubisoft went for historical accuracy. Well, not complete historical accuracy, because you gotta take some artistic liberties sometimes. I mean, or else, nobody wants to play a game that's so hyper realistic that it's yeah, this happened, but I've heard of this so many times. And also, we don't history. It's happened in the past, and while yes, we have plenty of documents to know some things that happen, documents over time get destroyed. So, fill in the gaps with your own spin on stuff. But for a good part, some of the characters were actually real people. Leonardo da Vinci, for one, was a real person, as y'all probably know. Another real person was Machiavelli. He was big during the Renaissance period, which is when this game takes place. Ezio is not a real person. I don't think any of the many of the other big characters are. Leonardo da Vinci is a big character, I know that, but I don't think any of the auditores were real. I could be wrong. But historical accuracy is great. I enjoy the how the characters' personalities. Like I said, Ezio Auditore is a really fun character. Mario Auditore, great. Especially his introduction. Good on you, Ubisoft. Good. I like how a lot of the targets in the game, they make you either really despise them or feel sorry for them. But not so sorry to where you don't kill them. Just enough sorry for them to where you hope they are resting in a better place, if they believe there's a better place. Now, some of the things I will say that I didn't really like is the combat's a bit wonky, which you can't really blame them for that due to the fact that I'm sure the first game combat was wonky too. I haven't played it. But from what I can tell, they fixed the combat in the later games, so it's like they fixed the biggest issue. Story gets a bit dull towards the end. It's like, and it's not like so dull, it's like unplayable garbage towards the end, but it's just enough to where it's like, I kind of want this to be done with. And I kind of had a problem finding my way around, but all in all, good game. That's why I'm ranking it a solid 9 out of 10. For my number 8 spot, this is actually going to surprise all of y'all. It's BioShock Infinite. I know what y'all are thinking, but Ethan, you made a whole video on why you didn't really like BioShock Infinite. I made a whole video on how I felt about the game. It was my review. Is it better than a lot of other games? Absolutely. Is it the best game? No. Could it have been better? Yes. It definitely could have been better. But my biggest thing with that video was I expected so much from BioShock Infinite because I played the first 2 games that whenever I got to it, I was like, yeah, let's see how this surprises me. And then it was like, what? I had a hard time tracking with the story and stuff, but that doesn't mean I despise the game. I still really like the game. That's why it's number 8 on this list. Not, mind you, it's still not in the top 5, but I gave it number 8. I mentioned this in the video I made on why I like it. Booker DeWitt is it's a pretty fun character to play. I think I said that. Yes, he's kind of a scumbag, but he's trying. He's trying to do better. I hope. I could be wrong. But he's fun. They went more in depth with his character than they did with the previous characters. Let you really experience the character. I do like a lot of the enemy designs. While they're not as fun as the Big Daddy designs, they're still fun in their own ways. Like the Handyman. Those are yes, they're pretty hard to beat, but they're kind of fun. They're pretty cool looking design. I can tell they spent some time on it. But that's my thing. As I mentioned in my BioShock review, they spent so much time on some of the things that were more of a spin on the series, but they didn't exactly. They either just slacked off on ground parts of the series, great story, an impressive narratives, villains that you can't stand but despise till the very end. I know what you're thinking. Well, Comstock was that way. I actually kind of felt some sympathy for Comstock. Mainly, though, it was because he was also technically Booker DeWitt. It's weird. But if you think about it, if Booker DeWitt becomes Comstock, then all Comstock was doing was taking his daughter back from... But he's taking it from his past. It's weird. So Comstock I really enjoyed. They also slacked on... They didn't even really give you much of a significant moral choice that changes the ending of the game. Unlike BioShock 1 and 2, they kind of, cut that out completely. So that's why it's not in my top 5, but there were plenty of things enjoyable enough about the game, like combat, stuff like that, weapon designs, that I gave it that's why I gave it, put it in the number 8 spot. The number 7th spot goes to Doom 64. Now, this is the first game I've mentioned that is not a PlayStation game, or a game that I played on the PlayStation. This is a game that I played on the Nintendo 64, and it's old, yes. Controls are wonky, yes. Graphics are weird, yes. But it's fun. You don't play the game for the story, because, as far as I can tell, there isn't much of a story. You play the game for fun, and for a good scare every now and then, because this, unlike newer Doom games, this game, I'd argue, is a horror game. Don't believe me? Play it yourself and see how many times your heart jumps. Okay? But Doom 64 was a game. I can't remember who made the original game, actually. Was it Bethesda? I could be wrong. I have no idea, but you play as a Marine in space killing demons. Pretty much the same as newer games, except different stuff. It's fun. It's mindless action. You can just play and just not really have to think about much of like puzzle stuff. I will say, if you do boot it on for the first time, you've got to turn up that brightness, because default brightness is so dark that you can't even see your own hand. You think I'm joking? I am not. Don't know why the game's set like that, but it is. But all in all, it's fun. A couple of complaints is it's a bit outdated. It just doesn't have a save mechanism, which is kind of expected from the older Doom games. And I know what you're thinking. It does. You just have to input a bunch of random numbers and stuff. I ain't writing that down. I don't want to write it down. I also don't like that if you die on a level, it resets all your gear. Because, I mean, that just makes that level harder. Let's see. A lot of the weapons, like, I guess, I haven't even gotten all the weapons. Like, I haven't finished the game, that's the thing. I don't even know if there's an end. But, like, a lot of the weapons could be better, easier to aim. Like, they could at least have, like, a reticle of some sort. And before you're like, oh, a lot of those early games didn't have a reticle. GoldenEye 007. Perfect Dark. Stuff like that. Now, then again, Perfect Dark and 007's reticle was only if you were pressing a certain button, and that just made it more wonky to control, so I'll give them that. So, I can't complain too much. But all in all, I think I listed this as 7. It goes as a 7. Number 6 spot goes to, yes, I'm recording this much later. Gotta turn this on. There we go. I'm recording this much later. I had to go and do something, but I'm back. Number 6 spot goes to the first VR game on this list, and I'd probably say the only one due to the fact that the other 2 VR games I haven't beat yet. But the VR game that I have beat that goes on the number 6 spot is, drumroll please. Actually, you don't have to do a drumroll. It's Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. For those of you who don't have a VR headset or don't know anything about VR, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners was a game created by Skydance Interactive, I think. I could be wrong. if anyone in the comments is more knowledgeable on this stuff than I am, please correct me. Feel free. But I'm pretty sure Skydance created the game, and it takes place in the Walking Dead universe. Like shows and well, I say the Walking Dead universe. It might be a separate universe, but it's same zombies, undead, stuff like that. And you play as the tourist who you can customize to fit whatever you want them to fit, like wherever. And things I like about it: scrapping mechanics are fun. Combat is fun, even though it's not. It's really just moving your hand like this or that or this, just or it's just moving your hand on a walker. But it's fun. It feels like you're in the game. Scrapping mechanics, it's like, oh, wood, yoink, mine now. Time to turn that into wood. I don't know. Certain parts of it is goofy. Things I do not like, and this isn't really like a huge gripe, but like after long periods of time, you do start getting disoriented and kind of dizzy. But that's useful. Not useful. Usual. That is usual from what I can tell. To everyone who plays VR. I say everyone, but a lot of people, because it's supposed to be disorienting. Yeah. I feel like they could have also went a bit like deeper into like maybe creating certain environments with like more. I don't know where I'm ranting here. I'm trying to find out. Definitely making the flashlight better. I know you get a better flashlight in the DLC, but I kind of want to get that in the main game. That's the problem. I don't like moving around in really dark corridors only to get jumped by 12 walkers. It's scary. I don't like it. I don't like it, okay? All jokes aside. But it's a really fun VR game, and I feel like it deserves its place on the number 6 spot. We are getting to the interesting part of the list, because these are my top 5 favorite games. These are games that I really enjoy playing. I've played multiple times, and like multiple times all the way through. And these are games that now, I'll also have some complaints, but at least three of these games are games I've covered on the channel, and you'll probably be able to determine which ones they are. But anyways, for number 5, that game will be Subnautica. Now, for those of y'all who do not know, Subnautica is a game created by Unknown Worlds. Can't remember when it was created, but it's a more recent game. I played it on my Switch. But in it, you play as somebody who's stranded on an ocean planet trying to survive with the resources that you find on the planet. Throughout the course of the game, you encounter other stuff. What I really like about the game is how diverse the biomes are. Creature designs are really cool, especially Reapers. Another thing I like about the game is like how everything, like the crafting recipes, for the most part make sense. There are a couple things here and there, it's like, what? Because apparently bleach makes water. I guess we're drinking bleach now. Did we not go through a phase not too long ago when we had to find out the hard way that was a bad idea? I don't know. Anyways, but that's kind of strange. Some things I don't like, because like I said, every game has its flaws. Some things I don't like about the game is how it kind of is a pretty slow progression system. It's kind of like, and it's like you kind of have to be playing for an hour to actually get any progress. And I'm like, I don't have that much time. I'm a pretty busy person. You know, I got school and stuff like that. But yeah. But other than that, it's a really fun game. I've played it so many times that, yeah. Have I beat the game that many times? Probably not. If I'm honest with myself, can't remember the last time I actually beat the game. I've just been playing it and stuff. But yeah, that's why that game. But all in all, great game. That's why it gets a 5 on this list. My fourth favorite game is going to be Portal 2. This is a game I have not reviewed on the channel yet. I'm waiting till I can beat the co-op on it before I review it. But for those of y'all who don't know, Portal 2 is a game created by Valve. Valve's made some awesome games in the past. They've made Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike 2, Team Fortress 2. I'm just naming just games and then their sequels. I think the only game series they made that actually has a third game, if you can call it a third game, is Half-Life. And the third game would be Half-Life Alyx, but I think it's exclusively VR. And I think it's also exclusively Valve Index. Besides the point. So, yeah, there are problems with. There are some people that don't consider it third game. But that's besides the point. But Portal 2 is the sequel to Portal, and it's a puzzle game based on thinking with portals. Can't remember when it was made, but things I really like about the game is that it's a whimsical game. Like, things that are said in the game, nothing about, it's not serious. A lot of it's just jokes. And it's fun to play whimsical games sometimes. The puzzles make you really think when you first played the game. Afterward, it's just kind of like speed run. I also enjoy how, unlike with my Resident Evil 5 review, or where it's like they just made the co-op game and then put a crappy AI for single player game, or most games with co-op campaigns where it's like they make the single player game, but they work pretty hard to also incorporate co-op, but it's the same campaign. They made two separate campaigns, one for single player and one for co-op, which is like, Valve, you're kind of outdoing yourself here. You don't have to work that hard. You don't have to cook that much, but they decided to cook, which I'm glad they did. So, yeah, I'm glad that they did that. Now, like I said, not every game's perfect, so I do have a couple of critiques. Mainly just the fact that the game, the ending's kind of lackluster. Not too much, but it's could have been better. Game's pretty short, in my opinion. Whenever I'm playing the developer logs, there's, towards the very end, there's a single developer log I can never get to. Because it's as soon as you get into the room that it's in, it triggers the final events. It's couldn't you have put it somewhere else? So there's that. All in all, though, really fun game. I enjoy playing it with my younger brothers and stuff, and my dad, who isn't the best, but that's why it ranks number 4 on this list. Dead Space was created in 2008 by EA. I've already put a review on my channel. Go check out the playlist. You'll see the Dead Space review. I honestly think it's one of my best videos, but apparently y'all don't. Y'all think my Resident Evil 5 one was the best. Besides the point. But Dead Space is a game where you play as Isaac Clarke, or I explained it in my video. I'm not going to go deep dive into it again. But things I really liked about this game, as I said, combat's really fun. Scares make me almost crap my pants. Haven't yet, but I have almost had a heart attack. So there's that. I like how they actually made it to where you can move while aiming, unlike Resident Evil 5. Capcom. Anyways, so, and it, like, aiming mechanism, really fun. The weapons are so cool. I'm gonna have to. That's all I have to say about it. It's like, hey, yeah, you get a mining tool to decapitate limbs. Oh yeah, you want an assault rifle? We have that, except with the twist. It's not a normal assault rifle. It's a literal whatever you want to call that. I'm like, what is this monstrosity? I love it. But yeah, weapons are cool. Some things I don't like. I guess the cannon area, as I said before, I made a joke in my Dead Space review that it's like I don't really know how to do it like to the best of my ability. I just really spray and pray, and I definitely was praying. I made a joke about how everyone was praying. Even if you were an atheist, you found some God and started praying because of that. So, yeah, there's that part. I haven't played the remake, but I've seen videos, and it seems like they fixed it in the remake, so that's good. What else did I not like? The Zero-G sections kind of are just not a huge fan. I'm sure it's not as disorienting as some of the later games, so there's that. But yeah, all in all, fun game. I absolutely love this game. That's why it belongs in number 3 on this list. Number 2 on this list is the original BioShock. Now, I went on a whole rant on my BioShock review on why this game was a masterpiece, why they should make a BioShock 4. I think they're making one. Did I mention that actually? I don't think I did. If they are to make a BioShock 4, I feel like they should go more of the route of the original 2 BioShocks rather than Infinite. Maybe put the graphics and gunplay of Infinite, but get the story, like, and stuff from the original 2. Like, make your stories, like, focus that much on the stories, because those stories were a masterpiece. But yeah, but I'm focusing on BioShock 1 right now. BioShock 1 was made by, I think, 2K. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't exactly know what else they made. Did they make Borderlands? Never played Borderlands, but I think they made Borderlands. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please. If I've messed any of my facts up in this video, please correct me. Anyways, but BioShock, things I really loved about the game. Just, I can't stress enough how much the story was. The villains made you really want to hate them. Fontaine is a piece of crap. So is Ryan. And honestly, if I had to choose between one or the other, I'm not going to choose either. Either are bad. Like, not like bad in like, oh, they were crappy villains. They were good villains. Made me hate them. Fontaine playing the "I was your family" card at the very end. If this wasn't a cutscene, I'd blast your face with the shotgun. But it's a cutscene, so you're lucky. Instead, you get a more painful death, being stabbed to death with needles. The only thing I fear in life. Anyways, love the original BioShock to death. Plasmids are fun. The fact that they throw in the plasmids, it's like, you just made this game even more interesting. You have to. I will address something though. So many people call BioShock either a diesel punk shooter or a steampunk shooter. I would have to disagree and say it's a biopunk shooter, due to the fact that its focuses on genetic testing and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's like the basis of biopunk. It takes place around the same time as biopunk stuff would. So I would argue it's a biopunk shooter. If any of y'all played the game, leave your ideas on what you would call it in the comments below. Some people would call it a horror game. That's fine. They have their own opinion. I personally was not as scared in the game because, I mean, it's kind of hard to be scared when you have literal superpowers and a full-on arsenal of weapons, including grenade launchers, flamethrowers, crossbows, shotguns, and each has like some weird ammo that would probably be a war crime. But yeah, things I did not like, because not every game's perfect. Uvent, there was no need for those. I understand the usefulness, and it's like, you can invent ammo and certain plasmids, but it's like, other than, not even plasmids, it was gene tonics, which I use gene tonics a lot. I like to use them. I like to dabble, but nobody really used I don't think I ever really used the Uvent machines for a lot, unless I was really low on a certain kind of ammo, and the Uvent machine just happened. I did use them to make automatic hack tools. That was one thing I would make, because those are useful. Hacking in the game was also bad. I just didn't like it. I didn't want to play a pipe game whenever I was hacking, so I would always use automatic hack tool or buyout. But all in all, game was phenomenal. But it's a number 2, meaning number 1 is even better. The game that belongs in the number 1 spot, if you've seen my BioShock 2 review, you would know it's BioShock 2. BioShock 2 is a game in 2010 made by 2K again, I think. It basically took everything BioShock 1 had great and just decided to crank it up on steroids. I'm like... Anyways, I know I'm being kind of a nerd here and kind of weird, but I love this game. Story, off the charts. Plasmids, even better than the first game. Weapons feel like they can really kick. I will say that what really confuses me is if you look at like weapon damage from like first game to second game, it stays the same, but the weapons are relatively more strong. That's the thing. Because a giant drill is way more powerful than a tiny wrench, yet they do the same damage. So what happened in between Bioshock 1 and 2? Did the splices get tougher? I don't know. There are certain weapons in the game that I never use. Like Spear Thrower. I say I never use it. I do use it for like laying out traps and stuff, which the gathering system in the game, great. It's just really fun. Gives you a reason to actually use all those like different trap options you have. It's like first game, yeah, you had trap bolts and proximity mines, but there's only really one section of the game where you use them. I say one section, one part. And it's a really small part. And it's when you're moving the lava flow in that first game, you're not. I guess it makes it easier, but still. But Bioshock 2 really enforced that. Like, be prepared with security stuff and all that other stuff. Because it makes your life so much easier. So I like how the traps have more of a use. Big Daddy designs. The fact that you get to play as one. Like, oh, come on. 2K. Who taught you to cook? Gordon Ramsay? Anyways, I don't know what else to say about this game. It's so good that it leaves me speechless sometimes. Now, every game has its flaws. I'm not denying that. This game's flaws kind of include how the researching system works. It's just more... I see how they kind of had to nerf the research system from the first game. Because instead of just spamming the click button like a million times, you actually have to like enter combat to get any research done. So there's that. There's one area in the game I feel like they could have really, like, you know, I feel like they could have really, like, added more to it, because it kind of seems a bit bare bones, and that would be Dionysus Park. Don't get me wrong, I love Dionysus Park. Phenomenal place. But compared to everything else, it seems kind of like short. I don't know. I'm probably just crazy here. Yeah, I think I am probably just being crazy here. But every other part of the game, it's like there was like 12 missions you had to do before you got to the train. This one, it was like just deal with the little sisters however you want. So, yeah, there's that. All in all, though, those are minor gripes compared to how many things in this game went right. So that's why it belongs number one. Now, an honorable mention that I should mention that did not make it into this list is the original Legends of Zelda. Now it's not one of my top 10 favorite games, but I really enjoy this game. I think it would probably be at number 11 if I could actually try to figure out what my top 15 favorite games are. I'd probably make a list on that, or maybe just like the 5 after their top 10. I don't know. But the original Legends of Zelda is just, it's really fun in its own way. And like the secrets in the game, it's like, yeah, I kind of had to look it up. I may be a cheater on that game. It doesn't matter. Let's move past that. But other than that, I really like how the game like makes it just hard enough to where it's like, you kind of just, you're not gonna win every time, but it makes it to where it's like you get close enough. It's not like Dark Souls where it's like, I'm just dying a million times the same way. I don't want to play this anymore. It's like, well, I got closer. Maybe if I can try to like do stuff differently, like maybe move around the arena a bit more. And I know what you're thinking, Ethan, it's a 2D game. Yeah, do I care? No, I really like this game. Didn't make it top 10 though. That's why it belongs in honorable mention. And that's all I have to say today. This video will be different than my other videos, as I've said before. I kind of had to spread it out. I kind of jumping from different places and stuff in this video. So yeah, I say it's more of a relaxed one, except none of my videos are really formal. These are more of just me spitting out more opinions, which is all my videos, just opinions. Which y'all seem to like my Resident Evil 5 opinions. If you look at the views on those, compared to the views on all my other videos, yeah, it's absolutely crushed those other videos. So, I don't know, if y'all, I am planning on moving away, not like completely away from the game reviews, but for a bit, because I am running out of games to review. I know someone in the comments said Killzone. As I mentioned earlier in this video though, I don't have Killzone anymore. I don't have the physical disc. And I didn't have the original Killzone to begin with. I had Killzone 3. And I haven't played that game in 5 years. So I'd have to repurchase it and then replay it before I review it. But it's a game I really want to replay. I remember me playing a whole lot of it. There are certain parts I still remember. And I remember really enjoying the game. But I can't remember basic details. I can't remember any gripes and stuff. And I'm pretty sure I had some gripes, so there's that. But yeah. But thank y'all for watching this video and me rant about crazy stuff. If you like this video, click the like button. And if you want to, please hit the subscribe button. A lot of y'all who viewed my last video didn't really subscribe. Maybe y'all didn't like it. Y'all just watched and were like, Resident Evil 5. Oh wait, this kid's crazy. Let's move on. And if that's the case, you're entitled to your own opinion. I really just, I did get a dislike on that video, so maybe y'all didn't like it. I don't know. But y'all watched it, so y'all gave me a chance. So there's something. But yeah, if you really like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of this content, hit that subscribe button. And if you have specific video ideas for me, please comment it. Please, I'm begging you. I'm running out of ideas. But I can't stress enough. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. See ya.